drawing into sharp focus, which I think is, in the context of the Avengers thing, is okay, but it serves as a big distraction from Thor.
I guess where it comes into with Iron Man 2 was it wasn't Tony Stark's movie. It's, ooh, look at Black Widow. Look how awesome she is. The Avengers will be awesome when you're looking at other people that are not Iron Man.
I think it was better handled in Iron Man, though. I really do, because honestly, Black Widow played a role in Iron Man. She had a reason to be there. It wasn't a great reason, but she was there for a reason.
But Tony, you could substitute S.H.I.E.L.D. for government looking for big, powerful weapons.
Yeah,
and you're not missing anything. It drives the plot, but it didn't feel like it was setting up the Avengers.
S.H.I.E.L.D. also had a reason to be primarily involved with Tony Stark, because the struggle from the beginning, for even in Iron Man 1, was that Tony was basically developing weapons for the U.S. military, and so his fate is always very closely tied to, the FBI oversight and, national oversight, where, his funding and his primary purchaser comes from the U.S. military. So S.H.I.E.L.D. getting involved in his business just made sense, But here it just seemed kind of tacked on, and I guess here's what I'll say about the reason I think a lot of people are frustrated with Thor, and probably rightfully so, is the fact that we got an okay movie. This was fine. This was basic, and it was well done. It was well directed, and it was a basic story they didn't screw up. And honestly, that's not too much to ask for in this day and age. Like, you could go, this story was predictable, it was basic, I could see it coming a mile away. But just the sheer fact they didn't fuck it up, that's a big plus. Because I've seen the movies I've reviewed lately, and a lot of the movies that come out that are basically formula movies that follow a very, very basic formula, somehow they fuck it up.
No, I saw this as being easily fuckable.
Yeah.
With the subject matter of, a guy with a big hammer, throwing it. I don't know anything about Thor, but just looking at it, it looked like something that could have easily been fucked up.
You know how you fuck it up is you make Beastmaster 2, because on its face, this is essentially the same movie as Beastmaster 2.
I heard another person kind of mention it like Masters of the Universe.
Yeah. and honestly, I thought about that because I know I was going to get people calling me a hypocrite for saying like, oh, how could you like Thor, but you call Beastmaster 2 bullshit because it's essentially the same thing where you take a hero from this fantastic realm and deposit him in modern Earth, and here's how you do it. Here's how they do it. In Beastmaster 2 and in Masters of the Universe, they did it essentially for budgetary limitations, and I don't think they really had that here. And besides that, it's not like we abandoned Asgard completely. This was pretty much half and half between Asgard and Earth.
Yes.
Where you saw a lot of shit you saw a lot of shit in Asgard. So while you had Thor in Earth, you didn't abandon the Asgardian plot. And I thought the Asgard stuff worked great. In fact, and although I will concede though that the stuff on Earth was still by far the weakest stuff in the movie, I thought the stuff on Asgard really kicked ass.
But it also served a purpose in that it was all about Thor getting his humanity, and you can't do that when he's in a world of God.
Yeah, and also the stuff on Earth served the point. Where in Beastmaster 2, they go to Earth just because he wants a nuclear bomb. Our clone wants a nuclear bomb. In this one, it actually serves a purpose, and actually it serves a mythological purpose that is actually something that's done many times I don't know if Norse mythology, but a lot of times in Greek mythology, where gods often go to Earth and wander around either as part of their penance, like Hercules, the Trials of Hercules, the Labors of Hercules, stuff like that, where they have to learn a lesson. That's why Thor is on Earth, is essentially to learn humility. So I honestly thought that served a purpose. But here's where I turn on the movie a little bit, where I go, this was a decent story, and as an Avengers setup, it worked well. I keep using the word basic, but it was done basically, and it was done well. Honestly, I thought if the reason I liked this movie as much as I did was because I thought the ensemble cast really helped to elevate, which was really, honestly, subpar material. This is no great shakes of a script, guys. This is a formula as old as movie making itself. So, the dialogue here is nothing spectacular, but I thought the ensemble cast, the guy who played Thor, Stellan Skarsgård, immediate mark. I'm a big Stellan Skarsgård fan. Anthony Hopkins, who I thought was kind of slumming in this movie, but he did okay. The guy who played Loki, and Natalie Portman, who honest to God, you wouldn't even recognize Natalie Portman anymore. The only thing you saw her was Padme Amidala in fucking Star Wars. She has such screen presence in this movie. She is so fucking cute in this movie.
What it is everyone has to deliver such hammy dialogue, and what usually kills it is you get actors that wink too much at the camera or know it's hammy and they're kind of delivering it with that kind of, But you get serious actors like Stellan Skarsgård, Anthony Hopkins.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Anthony Hopkins actually has fallen into that trap quite a lot, where he winks at the camera too much. You ever see Wolfman? Oh, Wolfman, he might as well have just been like, I'm Anthony Hopkins, and I'm fucking his whole movie up. I hated him in the Wolfman, because that was so fucking bad. They must have just told him, like, Anthony, like, just cut loose, bro.
He was the most enjoyable part of that.
He was, yeah. He was enjoyable just because you could tell he was the only guy that didn't give a shit.
I hated the rest of that movie.
Like, he was the only guy having fun with it. You know? Yeah, that was the killer part. Like, fucking Benicio del Toro was being all intense and brooding, and Anthony Hopkins is just like, Wolfman, wee!
It's like, he was the only one that saw the humor in it. Benicio is all gloomy and turning into a wolf man and kill all of you. And Anthony Hopkins is like, you're trying to act with me.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought he was good here, and I was actually kind of when I saw Anthony Hopkins was in this movie as Odin, I kind of dreaded it. I was like, oh, he's gonna do this thing again like he did the Wolf Man. I don't know. But I thought the ensemble cast really helped to elevate it, and honestly, I might be crushing on Natalie Portman here because there's just something about her fucking smile. When she smiles, you can't help but smile. She just beams like in this movie. It really is something to see. She really does lend gravity to a story that, in lesser hands, would have really turned into just really chuckle-worthy deliveries. You could see how worse actors and actresses could really have tanked this movie to really laughable proportions where it wouldn't have been at all as dramatic. And this actually plays into the fact that the romance subplot is really tacked on, where like all of a sudden Natalie Portman really cares about Thor, when in fact they've known each other like a grand total of 36 hours.
She wants to see Thor's hammer, man.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that's really the only thing you can draw down to it is the fact that she is physically attracted to him. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, I would actually kind of a clever take on it, where she just really wants to ride Mjolnir. You know, they didn't really go that way. Where all of a sudden, like they're trying to build this emotional connection up that it really doesn't take because there's not enough time dedicated to it. And the reason there's not enough time dedicated to lending this script a little more humanity and lending the characters a little more humanity is because so much time is spent up building up the S.H.I.E.L.D. plot. Bear with me here. One thing in particular that I could point to every time is they spend about 3 minutes of this movie introducing Hawkeye for no reason. They're gonna throw Hawkeye into the Avengers movie, and they're like, yeah, you saw him in Thor, right? You saw fucking Hawkeye. He was there, but he doesn't shoot his bow. He just kind of sits there like he's about to shoot Thor, but he doesn't do it. And so like they don't even really, even in terms of character,
Avengers random encounter.
Yeah. So like I actually thought the way they introduced him was kind of cool, where he covers his hand over the sniper rifle. He's like, no, fuck his bow. He picks up his bow and he kind of leaps up on this crane. I'm like, all right, we're going to do something with Thor. I thought we were going to see like a throwdown here, like Hawkeye was going to fight Thor or something like that. But even in terms of character introduction, I thought Hawkeye's introduction, really, they dropped the ball on it, because the one thing you want to see out of Hawkeye is that he's a really good archer, and he never fires his bow. So, like, they had a great chance to introduce Hawkeye, and then they just, all we know about this guy is he favors a bow. You know, I don't know. I thought the introduction was not well handled.
I do like the fact that it's cast by Jeremy Renner.
Yeah.
I'm liking that guy. But one thing I am surprised by the casting is they got veteran actors, but I was also surprised by the person they cast as Thor and Loki. Because after the movie, I was going to my friends, I was like, have these guys been in anything I've seen before? Do I know these people? And one of my friends was like, Captain Kirk's